Shadow work on this journey is extremely important. Please do not ignore how important this is. Today, I really wanted to get deep into shadow work. It is something that I guess doesn't feel like it's accessible right away. The experience I've had here is it took about a year or two to get to a point where I thought shadow work was where I needed to go. There was multiple teachers. By the way, shout out to Simply Always Awake. Angelo is absolutely incredible and is a massive part of the reason why I'm on this journey and why I'm on talking about this today. So big shout out there. But for a while, it would be talking about shadow work. I was like, no, I don't need that. There's nothing there. Similar to like looking back at childhood trauma and things like that. It's like, oh no, I don't really have anything. But after a while, it just really dawns on you that that's the last place to go. You try a lot of, I guess, staying in presence and trying to stay within this kind of experience of now or this or presence or however you'd like to put that. But the shadow work is one of the major reasons why you do flip-flop between these states quite a bit. And yeah, I guess you exhaust a lot of that and then you just have to turn inwards. It can start, actually, it becomes very clear that the triggers and emotions that do come up are linked to this perceived person. That is the operating system in reality. That has been created to make you safe and not feel this stuff that you need to go to, the shadow work. Like every ounce of your being and every ounce of this or line of code in this operating system tells you, no, don't go here. But you have the ability to go here and you have the ability to feel it. A lot of fear can come up for sure, but you can go here and it is extremely important. I've heard of like stories of awakening where a lot of people have done a lot of early shadow work and they found the experience post that initial awakening to be a lot more simple and stable. I guess this kind of sprung on me pretty quickly. So I think I've been spinning my wheels in this kind of emotional repression stage a little bit more. And I'm here to say that you don't need to. You can go there and feel it. So I guess what is shadow work? It's looking at everything you do and all of your triggers and all of your quirks and all of the little things that make you you and inquiring and looking into why you do those things. A couple of big ones for me with my childhood, with I guess my dad not being there and an abusive relationship afterwards. I never thought I was good enough. And a lot of what I've done in my later life, like with buying silly cars and trying to get really high up in my career, was to prove to everyone that I was enough, which is crazy. And to kind of see that at those like lower emotional levels is extremely humbling and it's surprising. I mean, it's emotional, of course, but just seeing it is all you need to do. Anything past that with regards to judgment or anything is too far. So that's one example of something that I've seen. My dog's in the background. You're right there. Other things that came up for me is people pleasing. As something I've done for a long time in life, especially to people who are in like powerful relationships against me, like bosses and things like that at work, and also people that I lead as well. And if you dig really into that, it's extremely selfish because what I'm doing is I'm manipulating situations to make myself not have to feel the awkwardness or difficult conversations. And so being a people pleaser and always being nice is actually a selfish endeavor once you really look into it. And again, like I feel this comes from a bit of that abusive relationship of trying to keep everything nice and make sure I'm being the nice person, because I don't want people to feel harm or feel those, I guess, negative emotions. But it does come to a point where it's extremely crippling and you are not able to be yourself. And this whole process is about going in and being able to be honest with yourself and honest with the world. And by keeping these things in and trying to manipulate situations to make it easier or less stressful or less negative to others is purely manipulation. And it's not you being your honest, true self. So that is like hugely eye-opening. And it's incredible to work with. And again, like, how do you get into this shadow work? It is honestly all about looking at triggers or situations as they come up and inquiring into them. An example might be, you might have a moment where you're embarrassed, or if there's a heated situation, just being able to stop and, even in hindsight, and look and inquire in, what do I want from this situation? Or if something bad was to happen, asking yourself what you want it to happen. So for example, they didn't have my t-shirt size at the shop. Crazy example. So I would say to myself, what I wanted was them to have the t-shirt in the size that I wanted. And they should have done that for me. And just being able to see that, just hold it and discard it, is all this is about. It can get to extremely low levels, and I've discussed that kind of physical contractions, like I have that feeling in the chest in one of my other videos. That is, I guess, a deeper level which is accessible after doing a lot of this shadow work, I feel. And having the space and ability to work with these quite deep emotions is an amazing thing. And it's just something that it's not discussed in society. It's all about, how do you manipulate the situation to not feel that and to kind of numb the pain. Just look at social media, you look at TV shows, you look at alcohol and drugs. It's literally not to feel this stuff. And it is at the layer of sensation. It is 100%. When it gets down to it and you get through the thought structures that's there, it's an emotional experience, and a physical sensational experience. And emotions are like pressures and energies, and you can let them be, and you can welcome them, and you can allow them to be, and you can hold them, and they dissipate, and which is incredible. Sometimes it might last a day or 5 minutes, but it's incredible to be able to do that. And it's just something you have to do. Do not be afraid to go there. And it's a really important part of the journey, because as you do this, the more able you are to be in this presence, but have emotions and feelings come up and down, and anger and sadness and happiness, and just see it all as kind of like one moving energy or space that's freely allowed to be. And that's the goal. We talk about spirituality and all this stuff, but really that is it. It's literally being able to be yourself, being able to feel and get down into those deep places where you don't want to go as a person, and every ounce of your body is telling you not to go, but that is where to go. So please go. It's worth it. It's incredible. And what comes afterwards isn't anything that the mind can think of. It's literally a space of allowing and being. Just let everything be as it is. So hopefully that was fun. It was a good riff. It's kind of I kind of like this to like rap freestyling. You just kind of jam on something and you keep going. Really enjoying talking about this stuff. This is awesome. So thank you and have a good one.